Okay, let's get started. So playing 2 tables of 5NL Zoom on Pokerstars. Just getting started here. I played a few sessions today, but we'll play another one. Just record about a 20-minute video. See how it goes. Never recorded a video before, so this is all something new for me. So I mostly play spin and goes really, but I play some cash and some tournaments. 6-7 off to min raise, suited I probably call, offsuit let it go. And over the years I've played quite a lot of poker, but never taken cash games very seriously, so I'm starting low and seeing if I can improve my game. It needs a lot of improvement. I am not particularly good. Queen Jack off. I tend to play fairly tight. Can 3-bet that hand. Probably just trying to tighten up a bit. I have a tendency maybe to be a little bit too loose, get myself in trouble by playing too loose pre-flop, get myself in trouble post-flop. Min raise 10-9 off. I guess 10-9 off has some high card potential, so we will call with that. And, into 2 people. I think we'll just check the ace queen, and this is a really shitty card on the right, so we're going to check it. I don't know if I want to bet the ace queen here. I think it's just very unlikely we're going to get it through 2 people. This does at least give us the chance to check call, and here I'm just going to fold. He has so much ace high when he checks back the flop. Could have bet this turn, I think, with ace queen, but it just feels like this is the kind of board we're always going to get called, and it's going to be hard to get it through. Maybe I could bet, but I like I say, I'm trying to avoid too much post flop bluffing if I can. So we're going to call here with ace queen open there. We could also potentially have the best hand, and yeah, this is the problem. It's got so much of that king 10, jack 8, just sort of nonsense like that I just don't see folding. May fold to bet, but I have too much experience of just firing away with those types of hands and people just calling twice. So I'm trying to, like I said before, keep it largely for value post flop, but still obviously continuation betting and putting in some bluffs in good spots, but not overdoing it. Any pointers if anybody wants to make in the comments will be more than appreciated. If anybody actually watches the video, which I'm not necessarily expecting many people to watch. Haven't got auto top up on for the moment. Just find it easier to sort of keep track of what I'm doing if I don't. Ace 8 of clubs, I think it's just very easy to defend. Right, he checks back the flop. I don't even think do we need to bluff? Like if we bet, we're trying to get him off like ace queen, ace jack. Maybe we could. Sort of an annoying river because I think he's going to bet here and we're going to end up calling. What does he have in that kind of spot? I wonder if I can guess what kind of hand he's got. A small pair, I think, would bet the turn. So maybe a hand like queen 10, queen jack. Okay. Would have expected that to probably bet at some point, given that he didn't have any showdown value. No real interesting spots as of yet. It's often the case when you play 2 tables of Zoom, it can take a while to get some interesting spots. You just have an awful lot of trash that you're folding. We'll get there. I promise that at some point that there will be an interesting hand, but maybe not quite yet. And I haven't got a HUD yet. I will be getting one at some point. Like with most things, I tend to put them off. Right, this is an interesting situation on the right. We've raised under, now it's not very interesting. We can just fold. Very, very small three bet, which we would have called. Not in love with it with a hand like King Queen, but you certainly can't be folding when someone does such a small three bet. This guy's made it very easy by putting in a big four bet. I'm going to just pause and just watch the hand, see if I get to see the cards. This guy here really is representing a lot of strength when it's an under the gun raise and a three bet. Might be ace king. When people check here, he could be trapping with a big pair, or he could just have, looks like he just had ace king. Ace three of hearts, we're going to have the guy under the gun. It's almost certainly going to call, but he could limp re-raise, so I'm just going to fold. And that would have been a pretty spectacular flop. And we're going to get a walk with aces. No, he does at least give us a raise, so we'll just put in 3-bet. And immediately get a fold. Disappointing. Now we'll go 3x from the small blind. Just don't want to encourage people to call when you're out of position there, so just make the pre-flop raise a bit larger. 4-3 offsuit, even to a min raise, we can fold. 4-3 suited, I would probably call. Well, there's an awful lot of folding going on, isn't there? Awful lot of folding, all right. Pocket fives actually to an under the gun raise, probably just a fold. This is another thing I used to do a lot of, was call with small pocket pairs in that spot all the time. It's something I do a lot less of now. I think we can go a third with range on this board on the left. And here I think we actually want to overbet. I have a lot of strong hands here. He doesn't really have a lot of strong king X. We certainly do. We get immediately snapped off, and we have a mandatory bluff, I think, on this river. Absolutely mandatory. He can, of course, have ace-high diamonds, which makes this a bit shit. But it's very difficult for him to call with, like, king jack or any king, or if he has a hand like 8-9 that he was getting sticky with, or if he has missed diamonds. If he has missed diamonds, it could be ace-high diamonds, which would have made that probably an unsuccessful bluff. Fortunately, on this occasion, it worked. But the turn play, like the overbet, is that a good play? I'm not really sure. The reason I do it is because it's so difficult for him to have a very strong hand. Like ace king, pocket kings, king queen. He might have king queen, but we have all those strong hands, even pocket eights. He's got those as well, I think. We've got a lot of strong hands there that he doesn't have, and one pair hands, like even like king jack, are not going to love it if you bet that big. So my experience is people tend to fold a lot to overbets. This guy raises under the gun. This is a pretty terrible flop for an under the gun player's range. I think that we are going to go for a. I'm going to go for a check. It's difficult going for a check raise with a hand that has absolutely no chance really. So we're just going to fold it, and I'm going to check back with the 9 on this board. And I don't think I want to raise. I think I'm just going to call. And we'll go half pot on here. And we'll go pretty close to pot. I think we'll go pot exactly on here. Ditch gut shot, which we miss. And we're just going to give up now. Hope he has queen jack, which he probably doesn't. I don't think we beat a whole hell of a lot. We don't have a. He could have like king queen or king 10 with a spade, but we are being rather optimistic. So I think I'm going to call, but expect to lose a lot. Yeah. Like I said before, I'm probably calling too much in the river when I kind of know I'm losing. On the left here, was that a good turn bet? We don't have anything, but if he has hands like 10-9 suited, or if he's just called the flop with like pocket eights, he'll have to fold, but maybe we don't need to bet that big. I'm not totally sure. The 9-7 on the left, I don't know about that river call. We can't really beat much value. When I say things like he can have king queen with a spade or king 10 with a spade, I just don't think you see it enough at these limits to make it a call. So perhaps in hindsight, it's a hand I really ought to be folding. All right, we open the jacks. We get a fairly crappy board. Let's go for a small bet though. He doesn't have to have an ace here, but like this is just going to keep it small. If it has like pocket eights or pocket nines, I don't think he's going to raise us. So that's why I make that play there. I don't necessarily think that's good play, but I don't want to just check and then let him blast away with some thing he's floated the flop with. And a lot of people, if they have pocket eights, pocket nines, they're never going to turn those hands into a bluff. So it's easier to control the size of the pot by just betting small. Jack 10 of clubs have been open. So things have got a bit more interesting. I've basically lost most of the hands I've played, but we have a few interesting spots. Ace 8 off in the small blinds being open for 3x. That's a really... It's not a great board. I think we might want to start with betting large. Yeah, that's a kind of board that would actually hit us quite hard. The razor, it wouldn't necessarily hit the caller as much. Seven six of spades. I'm going to open this, although I've said that I should have. I didn't notice the guy in the sea. This is why I shouldn't. One of the reasons I shouldn't open. I should look more at what I'm doing. The guy in the small blind there only had 11 big blinds. If I had seen that, I would not have opened it. 7-6 off, even for a small raise, out of position. I'm just going to fold. Jack 8's a fold. Okay, this is not a fold. It's pretty. I don't know if this guy's lining up a 3-bet or he's just gone for a shit. We get one caller. We flop the absolute nuts. I don't do this very often, but I am actually on this occasion going to check. Think we can only just call. Very, very difficult to have a hand here. Oh, but apparently he does. I am actually just going to do this. Now, this is stupid, but if he does actually have a 7 or a strong hand, we may as well just get the maximum for it. Yeah, there you go. Now, that's ridiculously good luck for us, but the play that I often don't do, that I think I might have to do a little bit more, is checking back the flop there. It may seem obvious because we've basically flopped the absolute nuts, but regularly it would be a play that I would just go ahead and bet third, and people might even fold nines. We get lucky. The river play is somewhat insane, but if you go all in, there's a chance that you might win a huge pot. And one thing I've learned from watching some videos is that maybe that's a play I should be making more too. We ISO'd here with Queen 8 of diamonds. We get a pretty decent flop. I'm just going to bet half pot. Yeah, and that board there, 6-9 Jack, I thought might hit him. Hands that might be calling. That'd be Broadway hands, but if he had a small pocket pair, I guess he didn't like it. So we've won one big pot, which was basically just a cooler. Other than that, I think I've made a mess of most of the hands I've played in. Okay, ace-9 against a guy who's not got much of a stack. We're just going to play passively here. I think just check back and just play a little trappy. Now we can just start going for value. We'll just go for small bets. And, we'll go for another... We'll just go for half pot. I think that's fine. I mean, it's hard to get called by a lot, but he's really not showing any strength at all, so very unlikely that we're not winning. Queen Jack off under the gun, I think, is a fold. Queen Jack suited to raise. Three, four clubs out of position, just going to fold. And easy open, easy fold. A lot of raise and take it's. The three betting is much less frequent than a higher stakes. Eights to an under the gun raise, I think it's okay just to call. I don't think you have to three bet everything. I think it is okay sometimes just to call. This board here, if he bets, I just fold. I'm going to check it back, but I don't think we're going to get much to fold. For 1.8, I guess we might call. Is this worth one call? If there's a hand like pocket fours or fives, he might just give up the river. I don't know. This is probably just a bad call on the turn. Jack four clubs in position. I think we'll defend it, and we'll just fold the eights now. With a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw, I'm certainly now going to see a turn. And yeah, it's just too likely that we're obviously losing on this board because we don't have a hand. But so we'll just throw it away now. And I'm going to go third with range on this board. Very difficult for him to have. See, it doesn't make a lot of sense for him to have a strong hand on this board. So but it also doesn't make a lot of sense for him to be bluffing here either. We'll call once. We'll see what the turn brings. And I think probably if he fires again, I think we kind of just have to fold. I may have even been better off just checking back the flop or folding to the check raise because these boards are extremely under bluffed. I don't see him just like check raising randomly with nothing. And is he going to check raise with like just king five or just some nonsense like that? I don't think so. So probably just check back the flop with a weak ace sometimes might be a good idea. You see that post flop is where, I mean, I struggle in general, but post flop I think I'm quite, not very good to be honest. Have some of the basic concepts down, but even after a long time of playing, I'm still not that great playing post flop. King jack off, we'll just throw away. Pocket fours be about as weak as I'll open from this position. And, to a normal size 3-bet, we just throw fours away. Deuce 9, I guess we can fold even to a 2.4. Another hand 10 8 clubs here that I think too often I would have opened previously. And it's something that I've started just to throw away. Don't get myself in trouble with it. Queen 9 off. Might have to add in some 3-bets in the big blind. I quite like calling a position when you have a hand that's somewhat playable. On this board, I think we have a bet. We get a lot of folds from just a couple of big cards that have totally missed. If we do get check raise, we can fold. Now I think I want to bet again, which I would definitely do if I had an 8. I think we probably have. And do we have more 8s than he does? I guess we'll find out. So we get it through. I think he's going to be calling the flop with lots of like ace 5 or ace 7 or just a couple of over cards. So I think that bet makes sense for our perspective. Against somebody who's just playing a smaller stack, we're going to make a loose raise because I think they're going to fold more. I often find when I play, like one table goes quite well and the other table either doesn't go well or just nothing happens. And we'll go for 3-bet from the big blind. We don't do it a huge amount, but on this occasion we'll do it. Get called, get a pretty ugly board. And I guess we go for this. This is a board that's actually pretty good for our range, but it's shit for our hand. And we're getting ourselves in trouble again. This is what often happens with me. I think Pre-flop is... did not mean to do that. We have to check here. We could still be ahead. Well, that's a pretty terrific river. I guess we just... Did we just bomb? Let's think. Actually, maybe we just check. Like, if he has a big... Oh, shit. We've already played this hand on left like an idiot, so let's continue. He had King Jack with a dime. He didn't bet the dime. Fuck me. Well, we definitely lost out on value there. And there's another thing that I do is checking the river, hoping your opponent is going to bet. Too frequently when I do that, they just don't. So I should just bet myself. We get a miracle river there and end up losing out on chips because I didn't just bet my hand. I'm going to bet large on this board. 5-7 of clubs in position. I'm going to call. We're all quite deep, so I think this makes some sense. A board that is sort of close to being good. And unfortunately, we're going to have to fold. Yeah, the eights hand there is one of those where I'm really not sure about any of it. I think that pre-flop, it's okay. I think the flop play, again, it's a pretty good board for my range. So I think betting as I did is okay, and then probably having to give up. The river is interesting. Should I be betting it? Or should I check in due? I mean, should he be betting the jack of diamonds? All these questions I've got, and I have no answers. Nines, I'm just going to call from the small blind of this. And we'll go for a check. In small bet, I'm going to raise. Get a bit of protection. On a paired board like this as well, I don't think you can really start jamming his overpairs. You just have to be worried that I have a hand like 7-8 suited, 7-6 suited. Yeah, I think against a small bet, that play makes sense because nines is quite a vulnerable hand. And so just getting that fold equity is makes some sense. So this session actually has been quite eventful. After a very slow start, there have been some interesting hands. And I suspect, like most of my sessions, there's been at least some decent plays, and there's been a whole load of bullshit. There's been a whole load of mistakes. Got very fortunate with that eights hand, and you know the big pots that I've won. Pocket aces hit an ace. Pocket eights hit an eight. Nothing very complicated. Let me go for something slightly different here. We're going to check the ace high board with ace king. When he checks back, now we're just going to bet and try and get some value. I guess we just bet again. I don't know how big we can bet. Ace queen, I think we would have heard from before, so I think we're good here. I think we just bet, okay. And we'll just bet half pot here with my set. This is the third time we've hit a set, so we've been pretty fortunate with some flops in this session so far. Get called. 6-7 does get there. I think we're going to bet reasonably large. You know, 7-8, 6-8 also hit a pair, so I think we can get some value here. Okay. Hey, look, I always say even if you don't get called with a hand like that, it's better than losing the hand. So a little disappointing. We'll go for a 3-bet with the ace jack off against just a min raise. Just fold, just fold. Yeah, so we'll probably play about 300 hands and then call it a session. 239 at the moment. Ace 10 off. I'm gonna start folding stuff like that under the gun. Like I said, I was gonna try and play tighter, more sensibly. Ace 10 off, raising it. I just don't see that you're going to be making that many chips by doing that. Pocket eights, easy open. And we've hit a few sets in the session. Can we hit another one? Not this time, but this is not a bad board. I think I'm just going to bet half pot. Doesn't shock me that we get called. We could still be good here. I think he can be calling with sevens, fives, fours, all those sorts of hands. So I'm going to check, but hoping he checks behind. He bets, probably just going to give up. I don't think people often enough take smaller pairs and turn them into bluffs. If he did float with a hand like King Queen, obviously that's now got there, so the easiest just to fold. Okay, couple of queens, and we'll definitely go for the 3-bet. I usually go to 10 here. Oh no. Our session was going so well. I mean, he's done that so quickly. I think it's going to be ace king a lot. I think we have to shove. Well, at least he didn't snap call us, and look at that. A 4-bet bluff at 5NL. Eh? They do happen. So we'll actually make a quick note. Can 4-bet bluff 5NL. Because you don't see that too much. Like when you have queens and get 4-bet, it's generally not, something you love at these stakes. I think in that situation, he did it so quickly that if people have aces or kings, I think they usually try and take just a second or two to sort of milk it, to con you into thinking that they've got a decision when they really haven't. So when someone just snap does something, I said I thought he had ace king when they did that. And here he is, the man who can 4-bet bluff, Tiger Farm. And a nice looking hand here just to see a flop with. And a nice looking flop. Could check raise. I think actually we just want to lead with this. Ace 10, of course, is a possibility. So if we do get raised, we may well be losing. But of course, we've got a lot of good river cards potentially. Diamond, king, or queen. Get called. I would expect to see a raise from a hand that is beating me. Now I think we just want to. Now I think we can check this. Why? I ignore my own fucking advice. I said earlier, didn't I? Don't start checking shit. Queen, jack, and tens. I'm not sure how much they're calling. I'm just hoping that someone puts a bet out there with a hand like king 10. I get a chance to check raise, but maybe I just gotta stop doing this. Stop trying to get other people to do your betting. Booklet. Fucking bet yourself. How many hands we played? 290, so 10 more hands, and then we'll call it a session. Ace 5 of clubs, I think fairly easy to defend to a min raise. Can't really complain about the cards as much as I would love to. We've hit some really good hands, and at the moment we're up about a buy, and I think we're going to win this, but we can't value bet. We get 3-bet. A7, generally, like I said before, I'm trying to be tighter. If I had the same stack he did, I would definitely call, but since I don't, I'm just going to fold. And we'll just play this king-queen hand, and that will be it. Open with king-queen. Okay. So we're up just over a buy-in. $5.58. Hope you enjoy watching it, and if people want to leave any comments, a few people that watch, if you want to leave any comments below, tell me what you think of certain hands. Try and make it constructive. Don't just write your shit, even though it's true. It doesn't really help. Appreciate you watching, and hey, if anyone watches, maybe I'll make a few more videos. Take care. Bye bye.